Wonderful Monday, February 26th, after school, after work. I hope you had a great day. And we're continuing our book series, Evicted, The Struggle for the Right to Vote. We know our last episode, there were some families who were evicted from their land where they were sharecroppers and they didn't have anywhere to go, but there were some generous family members, neighbors who opened up their plots of land and acres so that people were able to set up tents. And they had a tent city in this area, and people just looked out for one another. And look, it is important for us to treat everyone equally with love. You see those tents? Yeah, they were kicked out. They were evicted from their homes and their stability. But like I said, some generous people opened up their land so that their families could be taken care of. And that's what we're to do today. That might not be your child on the corner. That might not be your son, acting a fool. But still, you care about them. You love them. You show concern, right? As if that was your own blood. All right. The Federal Justice Department sent FBI agents to investigate the area's long tradition of voter suppression, because what would happen was that people would be kicked out as soon as, rights would be stripped away when they would try to vote. What? All this injustice and hatred and, evil. Well, anyway, Federal Justice Department sent FBI agents to investigate the area's long tradition of voter suppression. Fayette County News reached Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Pictures of tent city cross President Kennedy's desk. John and Viola left responsible for people. They felt responsible for people in the tents. The sharecroppers did not register to be put outdoors, right? They just wanted to let their voice be known. That's why it's so important for us to take a stand, to be vocal, right? Because so much is contingent on our not only activism, but being bold and vocal and doing what we should, standing for right. Now, the sharecroppers did not register to be put outdoors. Now their hungry families needed food and clothing. The McFerrins spoke across the nation seeking aid. Click, 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 click. A surge of publicity drew more reporters to Fayette County. Ebony magazine printed a pictorial exposition, and Dr. King mailed the league a letter with a large donation. President Kennedy sent large trucks loaded with food. Yeah. So it's important that we look out for one another and we encourage each other not to worry about a thing, because we're going to look out for each other, right? And that's what, this song, one of my favorite songs in the background, is saying. Like, yeah, there might be terrible treatment, but we're looking out for you. We see. Don't you worry about a thing. Things going to work out. Well, anyway, Dr. King mailed the league a letter with a large donation. Looking out. President Kennedy sent large trucks loaded with food. Click, 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 click. Pictures of Mary and Early B made the papers. John McFerrin's crusade was a lead story. And as the news traveled around the globe, black and white allies joined John's struggle. John and Viola. America followed the McFerrins in the headlines as help arrived in great numbers. Volunteer carpenters laid wood floors in the tents. Labor unions like the United Packing House Workers donated food. Virgie Hortenstein of Operation Freedom gave loans to registered black landowners, denied credit at the banks. And when a plea for aid was printed in Jet magazine, shoes, clothes, and money arrived from faraway states like California, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Illinois. John and attorney J.F. Estes could never agree on a system to receive and distribute the donations. John broke ties with Estes in 1961 and changed his group's name to the original Fayette County Civic and Welfare League, OFCCWL. The split with Estes did not shatter John's vision. So yeah, you might part ways, but don't let it shatter you. You continue to do what you need to do. And as registered black voters increased, so did incidents of violence. White terrorists fired guns at the Williams tent on a frosty winter night. A bullet missed their sleeping baby and hit Early B in the arm. John's family was a target too. White men threw bricks into his home. They chased his mother, Estella McFerrin, off the road, and the aging woman wrecked her car in a ditch. In each case, white culprits were identified but never changed. Robert McFerrin was John's baby brother. The college graduate moved away to avoid physical harm and economic retaliation. With Robert gone, John rented his brother's grocery and gas station to serve Fayette County's black community. White merchants in Fayette County would not sell John gas or food to stock his store. Through the week, he drove his 1955 Thunderbird with a set of 4-barreled carburetors to Memphis. There he purchased meat, meal, and bread. On his drive home, John zipped and zoomed around country roads as white locals plotting unsuccessfully to ambush his car. Whew. Viola married John in 1950, the year she graduated high school. She never dreamed that loving him would put her life in danger during their voting struggles. She worried especially about the safety of her children, but with each morning, she knelt in prayer. Woo, so important. Her determination strengthened, and Viola was unflinching. That's right. Don't you worry about a thing. You continue to persist. She told John, "We are in this fight together." Like a good soldier, Viola went to organize bins of donated food and clothing in the grocery storage room. With Minnie at her side, the sisters distributed the donations to long lines of needy families from Tent City and Fayette County, towns like Oakland, Moscow, and Rossville. Hordes of reporters traveled to Somerville's three-way stop on Highway 195. There at McFerrin's grocery store, they raised their tape recorders and asked how an uneducated farmer and his wife learned to lead a movement. John would clear the phlegm from his throat and pull a tape recorder to his lips. "Ain't no schools for this," he would say. "We have been trained under pressure." Have you been trained under pressure or deadlines or pressing situations? A lot of us. The school of hard knocks, but a lot can be accomplished. A white student from Oberlin College, Charlie Outsider is the name of this, canceled summer fun when he read the news about Tent City. Charlie Butts packed his bags and drove all night from Ohio to Tennessee. On his arrival, he worked as a league volunteer. Charlie studied the grassroots movement through the lens of his college books. Something was missing. Many in the black community did not own telephones, and the league needed some way to share urgent information about protest marches, voting, and late-night rallies. One morning, as the two broke Jim Crow traditions and worked together in the league's rickety headquarters, Charlie asked Minnie, "Would you consider writing a weekly newsletter?" Minnie had no objection. Who will teach me how? The league donated mimeograph machine was a mystery to her. "I will," Charlie pointed both thumbs at himself, and for the duration of his stay, he taught Minnie how to type, make mimeo copies, and publish the league link. When Charlie returned to college, Minnie carried on as League Link editor, and 2 years later, good news arrived. Under John Doerr, the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division filed a lawsuit to block white landowners from evicting black sharecroppers because they had registered to vote. A consent agreement was filed, and white landowners agreed to stop evictions in July 1962. Peals of praise rang from tent to tent as families gathered to read the league link. In the summer of 1962, a breeze of relief seemed to blow across the country. No new families moved into the tents, and several white merchants resumed business and services to black registered voters. With a consent agreement filed, White landowners began to purchase expensive farm equipment to avoid hiring a cheap labor force that pressed for equal rights. With no new opportunities to work, one by one, tent families began to pack up their memories and moved to nearby counties like Shelby, Chester, and Madison. While Papa Towels pulled down tents, John McFerrin made big plans to pick a black political candidate and help that candidate win. Hey, the point is there was momentum, there was movement, and he was trained by experiences, hard times. Don't waste your suffering, but turn something magnificent from misery, and you will see that you're impacting change and doing something wonderful for others. All right. Enjoy the evening, and remember history in these last few days of the official Black History Month, but we know that's every day.